Why hello there, I am fantasy author Dianna Gunn, and today I'm here to share a few strategies that I use to refill the creative well. As writers, many of us have a never-ending flow of story ideas. I know I personally have an entire binder full of story ideas that are just waiting to be used and are sitting there collecting dust until I actually have time to look at them, if I ever do. And I've also got outlines for over a dozen different novels sitting in various binders. Ideas are great, but creative energy is what actually turns those ideas into finished stories, books, movies, whatever it is you're trying to make. And just because we have the ideas doesn't mean that we actually have the creative energy necessary to turn our ideas into a finished project. In fact, many people find that at the end of a long day of work and dealing with family and friends, creative energy is sorely lacking, even if they have 1,000 ideas. Today I'm going to share a few different strategies you can use to refill your creative well and encourage more creative energy to flow through you on a daily basis. My first and favorite strategy is reading. I'm sure if you spent any time at all watching or reading or listening to writing advice, you've heard about 1,000 different times that reading is essential for writers. You need to read widely and deeply to be able to really understand the craft and what works and how stories are told and how you can tell your own stories. What is often left out of this conversation is that reading itself often serves as the best inspiration. I can't tell you the number of times I've been reading a book and I've had to put it down because I've suddenly had 1,000 ideas for my character development or my world building or a plot point I was stuck on. The second strategy that I want to recommend for refilling the creative well is actually participating in arts that you don't usually participate in, learning new arts. And I have been doing some of this myself recently. I created this piece. It was the first time I'd worked with canvas since high school, and it was also the first time I'd worked with charcoal pastels in a long time. I did this one day a week and I felt so much better all week long because I had this extra creative outlet. When you become really devoted to pursuing a specific creative skill as a career, it starts to feel like work, and in some ways that's good. It's important if you want to have a career as an author to treat your writing like a job. But at the same time, if it feels too much like work, it eventually becomes draining in its own right, like any job. And participating in and learning other forms of the arts is a really great way to give yourself a new creative outlet that just feels like fun and that really connects you to your inner creative core and the reason why you want to be doing creative stuff in the first place. Tip number 3, and this one is probably going to be the hardest one for you guys. It is definitely the hardest one for me, and it is to remember that sometimes when you're feeling drained and you don't have any creative energy left, it's because you actually just need to rest. You need to turn Netflix on, turn your brain off, and just relax. As creative people, we're often taught that our creativity should consume our every waking moment, that it should be our all-consuming passion, and that we should be doing it every single day, all the time, if we want to be able to justify pursuing it as any kind of career or business. And I think that hurts a lot of us. The idea that we need to be always on, always creative, it's just another form of the workaholic culture that has permeated capitalism, that has driven us all to constant exhaustion and stress. And you need to back out of that. You need to remember that part of being human is needing rest. Often when you're resting and you're not consciously doing anything and you're just being, your subconscious is actually working on all of those writing problems that are making you feel drained in the first place. So, if you're feeling really drained and you've been feeling like this for a while, please slow down, take a break, rest, and if you're feeling guilty about turning off your creative mind for even a moment, check out my video on how to kill your guilt. Alright, so those are my 3 main strategies for refilling the creative well. I'll probably visit this topic again because there are a lot of different things I do to get the brain going. But I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long, so we're gonna leave it here for today. If you have some tips of your own, please do let me know in the comments section below, and of course, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I am fantasy author Dianna Gunn. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Thursday.